predators think we're absolutely on our knees. We're not. And I came into that segment and I got angry looking at that guy. And I'm telling you, we need to have the spirit of awakening and getting out of our trance now. Now is the time. Hear those war drums. Get me ready. The sleeping giant needs to awaken. Oh, now they just made him lean forward into the video. You guys make me have a heart attack. I'm talking about, I'm a pedophile, is what he says. And he just is the archetype creep out of nightmares that creeps. Oh, my God. And we're so weak. We're in such a trance now that the enemy has crawled up out of the sewer. Literal vampire pot-bellied goblins are hobbling around coming after us. I'm not against you if you got a pot belly. I'm just saying they always have a pot belly. Hell, I had a pot belly until I got in shape. And I'm going to get to that and then all the other news. It just makes me so angry. The article's up on InfoWars.com. And this is what Salon, loved by the left, loved by the White House. I am so honored that Salon attacks me almost every day of the year and twists what we say and lies about us and has even called for me to be shut down or arrested. Well, of course you want to arrest me. I don't promote people that want 5-year-old girls. I don't promote the Saudi Arabian government either, or Hillary, who protects Bill from all the rape allegations and gives him left cover. But who is the left? They're a bunch of spoiled, rotten, mentally ill people that want to be destroyed. That's what decadence brings. It just brings people that want to be destroyed. Until they're actually being destroyed, then they'll scream. They don't have the moral high ground. They have nothing. These are the parasite controllers now crawling up out of the pit of hell telling us they want our children. It's not enough to abort most of our children, not enough to sell their body parts, not enough. In fact, I forgot to cover this. I covered it some yesterday in a Facebook mentions, but I didn't cover it on air. Can I have the NPR article about, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They're splicing humans with animals now at laboratories. Oh my gosh, give NPR a Pulitzer Prize. You know what's even more blasphemous than some potbelly pedophile going after your 5-year-old? It is splicing humans with animals and then saying they have no rights. So that's coming up. But here. A video posted on Salon's Facebook page shows a leftist news organization, resident pedophile, Todd Nickerson. You can't make up a name like that. That is exactly what you'd expect the name to be. Todd Nickerson. That's what Stephen King would write. A pedophile's name would be Todd Nickerson, explaining how he masturbated over a 5-year-old girl while romanticizing video footage of a child is used to illustrate his sick fantasy. Nickerson first rose to prominence when Salon gave him a platform. They're not just doing this for attention, folks. They do this because it's a sacrament to them, your children. To explain how lusting after children was merely an alternative sexual orientation, close quote, that people should understand and be supportive towards pedophiles. When conservatives dared to express skepticism towards the premise, Nickerson immediately claimed to be a victim of right-wing hate machine in an article entitled, "I'm a pedophile, you're the monsters." And notice the state says, we're going to give your children vaccines without your consent. We're going to have abortions without consent. We're going to take them for sexual training without consent. This is all pedophile induction. Understand? And it's time to tell the left, you're not the left. You're monsters. And people they've bullied into supporting them, you're trash, you're parasites, you're scum. We don't go with anything you tell us anymore. Here's another one. Charlotte Observer. This is a mainstream newspaper. Girls must overcome discomfort, this is quote, at seeing male genitals in the locker room. People think I'm joking when I get on air and read mainstream news where girls as young now as the 6th grade are having boys put in the showers with them and vice versa. Man, when I was in 6th grade in sports, up until 5th grade, you didn't take showers and stuff when you were in elementary. Then in 6th grade, you're in there and you go and take showers. And it's a little, weird to, be in there, but you get over it. But now it's little girls. And they do this openly to test and see what you'll do. I remember like 20 years ago in Kansas and other areas, under federal grants, they would put cameras in the girls' showers and boys' showers of middle school kids, and parents would come and freak out to be on the news, and then it turned out the cameras were hooked into law enforcement databases in D.C. The feds are just looking for what kids they want to grab. Because at the top, folks, the FBI, the CIA, the Congress, it's run by pedophiles. Most of the people you see in top positions and top pundits, you need to understand, they don't just rape children, they murder children. And look at how much of the murders come out. And Jimmy Savile and the death, and the bodies found in the royal family's palaces, and all the dead bodies with the elites here. Folks, raping kids is just the start. They kill them. Satan groups, satanic groups will have women that stay behind closed doors and get pregnant, and then, you know, they have babies to kill them as well. I mean, this is who these people are, and they're now coming out in the open. Oh, so a shocking editorial in the Charlotte Observer counsel girls to, quote, get over the discomfort they feel at the sight of male genitals when transgender facilities are allowed in North Carolina. And then it goes on to say they will have people with genitals, penises, in there with them. And, of course, you knew this was coming, and I'm going to get to the pedo video. Somehow this all just is in the same file here at the office. Glenn Beck defends Mark Zuckerberg, attacks conservatives. It's unclear if he's gunning for the role in their PR department in the wake of the Blaze's financial difficulties, but even if it isn't, it's hard to tell the difference. Well, Brzezinski wrote about this in the Technotronic era in 1974, and this is what Zuckerberg met with the communist Chinese leaders more than 15 times, including their top censor twice in the last 2 years. You will still have conservatives. You will still have Christians. In China, they still have conservative websites. They still have Christian websites, but they're state-controlled with state messages, and only a few are allowed. And he is there gunning at the meeting. And I said this last week, and I said this week. Go back. I told you he would come out prostrating himself, lying down on his little snake belly, rubbing his little pot belly on the ground, and he will sit there and come out and go, you know, Zuckerberg's got to control stuff that's fake news and hateful and bad stuff, and there's a lot of extremism, and I agree with it. Remember, he's the guy, when he was on CNN, saying arrest Ron Paul supporters because they want to bomb the government with a money bomb. Years after money bombs were well known, that was just a fundraising tactic. And, you know, saying I'm dangerous and I'm bad and all this stuff. Folks, he's been an operative all along. His job was to kamikaze the liberty movement. His job was to come in like a political suicide bomber and blow us up. But now we've been alerted to it, shot him out the airlock like the alien species to liberty he is, and he's attached with sucker cups to the front of the ship trying to blow the airlock and take us out. He's got to be dealt with, folks, just like in the first movie, The Alien. Got to blast him out into space, suck him into the engines, and burn him up. And I don't mean that literally. I wish no harm against this operative. He should be a museum piece someday. But he's activated, he's coming for us, and his main mission was take me down, as you know. He failed, by the grace of God. Thank you, Lord. But it was rough. He did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, a lot of stuff on the record, and we just took the high road, didn't attack him, prayed that he would stop it, but he didn't. And now he's self-immolated. He's burned himself up in front of everybody. And I'm not going to cook hot dogs on his fire because I like hickory and oak. I don't like you know, roasting hot dogs over a little demonic goblin. So there you have it on that front. But let's get back to speaking of goblins. And even trulier sickening, you know, Beck's just Judas goading the liberty movement. I mean, he's not out there promoting things like this, thank God. I guess he's probably a wonderful person. Let's get to Todd Nickerson. Todd. I think it's the name Todd, but it's just, if I was central casting one of these guys, he would look just like this guy, and his name would be Todd Nickerson. Let's go ahead and go to Todd Nickerson.
And she was just standing there watching me. And I remember looking up and just seeing her and just going, wow, she's beautiful.
All right, let's hit pause.
I knew I was
back it up.
My default.
To the start. He's talking about a 5-year-old girl here. It's hard to watch. And understand, Satanist, he may not even know he's one, but children of death, children of wickedness, you know, in my view, I'm sure he's not really a wicked person. They are attracted to innocence and defiling it. and destroying it. And they want to destroy the free will before the child is developed, and they psychically admit at the higher levels they are vampiring the essence and the innocence of the children off of them and away from them. And so at the lower level, Renfield level, like this guy, at the Igor level, this is just one of the little front minions, you know, that's willing to go out and do all this. He's the tip of the iceberg for the horrible thing right under the surface that's now leering at us and uncloaking. They don't have real relationships with full-grown women. They're scared of big, powerful, you know, steaming women with just all the sinew and the smells and the wild-eyedness. They just, oh, like a man's like, I love this, boy. You know, the more female, the more, just can imagine a woman in like a leopard skin and a club in her hand. You know, it's just awesome. Anyways, that's how God made us. This guy's totally threatened by that and isn't attracted to it. He's attracted to children, people that aren't even sexual, people that aren't even developed, people that don't even have the capability to make another child, because they're such weak, pathetic slime balls. And now they think we're even weaker than them. We'll go, oh, it's your, okay, we'll drop on by this week then. You know, sir, you can court my 5-year-old. No, you can't. But the state, mark my words, I'm serious when I say this is already happening in some areas of Europe, is taking 7, 8, and 9. Here it's 10, 11, 12-year-old girls away. If the parents are Christians, won't let them, quote, go to the gay groups, or won't let them go have a sex change. They say, no, you can do that when you're 18 if you want. They're taking them away. And now it's going to be, this is what NAMBLA wants, take the children away to put them in to be educated into the love. It's the only way to end the discrimination against pedophiles. That's what he says, too, is we're discriminated against. I mean, in any mammal species, if some male or female comes over to somebody's babies that aren't in their family, starts doing weird things to the babies, chimpanzees will break your neck. Wolves will attack you. I mean, any mammal species protects its youth from aberrant, twisted, malfunctioning, demon-possessed, color out of space creatures like this guy. Here it is.
I remember looking up and just seeing her and just going, wow, she's beautiful. I knew I was in deep. I had to fallen for the girl. The last thing I wanted to do was hurt her.
Oh. Last thing I want to do was hurt her. Look at his eyes. I'm not a predator.
I took on a regular babysitting gig. She was 5. She was a precocious girl.
Hit 5. A regular babysitting gig. Don't have a man or a teenage man who wants to babysit your girls or boys babysit. Statistically, they're coming after them. That's why everybody has women. Women. It's known. Now, if you're a brother, they say keep your sisters. That's totally normal. Or if you're a cousin, and then it's like reluctantly, hey, come over and, you know, cook dinner and watch the kids, let them watch a movie, and you're like, all right, you know, that's different. But when it's a guy like this, don't let him around your kids. Let's go back. I mean, that's a no-brainer, isn't it? Let's go back to him.
A regular babysitting gig. She was 5. She was a precocious girl. She was advanced for her age. She was also very independent. A lot of my fantasies actually revolve around little girls who are in some way more powerful than I am. Eventually,
they're more powerful. Well, of course, they've got life force. They weren't abused like you were when you were young, I would guess. Statistically, I don't know that about this guy. They weren't inducted into this. I want to know who shot video of this little girl for his piece. They need to be investigated. Who shot video of this little girl that's in this video of your radio listener? There's a little, what looks like 2.5, 3-year-old girl dancing around while this guy drools over her and talks about her life force. By the way, I told you, see? Let's go back to it.
Fantasies actually revolve around little girls who are in some way more powerful than I am. Eventually, my attraction became, overwhelming to the point I had to go relieve myself in the bathroom.
Hey,
that's when
I want to relieve myself with this guy. And it ain't that way. I tell you, it's a good feeling when somebody comes after you. They almost get you down. You get them down. You got broken fist. Still a very satisfying feeling. That's the kind of relief I want here. Good boy, I tell you. Oh, but I'm evil. This guy's drooling over children, and I am physically repulsed and physically have a physical response as a man. It's horrible, but people need to know who's coming for us. This is the Democratic Party. Here they are.
When I had to go relieve myself in the bathroom, that's when I had to leave town and get my head straightened out. I didn't abuse her because I knew the harm that it could cause. Also, you know, remembering the fact that I was abused, it's probably contributed to my own sexuality.
Hit pause. I'm going to be honest. Nico asked me this morning, have you seen this? And I said, no, I can't make myself see it more than once. So that's why I'm guessing all this as we go along here, and it turns out to be true. Because I just read some of the transcripts in Paul's article. I didn't see those statements. So see, I'm predicting here. It's not hard to predict. I mean, look at this poor little guy. See, that's why he isn't as demonic. He's more of a Renfield, like a servant of Dracula. But that's why they put him out there, because he's less threatening to the real demons in the shadows. So the spirit of this guy is what I feel urges to attack. I don't want to attack him. But it just shows that they took that little boy right there, put him into their cult, and now he thinks of love as love between a child and an adult. And whatever age they were abused at is the age they start going after when they are adults. If they got abused at 2, they go after 2-year-olds. If they got abused at 7, they go after 7-year-olds. That's how this works. And they're being left alone and allowed to operate now, folks, and they need to be stopped because they have a mathematic equation. They don't have children. They replicate by abusing other children and expanding their cult. So, again, I normally watch videos before I plan, but stuff like this, I can only look at it once, so that's why. But you know, I'm glad we all watched it together for the first time because you saw my predictions be correct. Thousands of years ago, there was a basic form of chivalry. Our ancestors would hear the drums of war, giving the warriors of the tribe a chance to organize and prepare a defense. 60 years ago, when foreign air forces were approaching filled with bombs, they had drums of their own, air raid sirens. But in the 21st century, there are silent weapons for quiet war. Pathogens added to the food and water, and to the lining of plastics that destroy our vitality, turn off our hormones, and accelerate our journey towards death. I personally counter this onslaught with Anthroplex. Anthroplex is designed with known organic concentrated herbs to create the basic foundation to normal metabolic activity inside the human body. Discover why Anthroplex is turning so many heads today. It's time for us to take our bodies back into our own hands, and it starts at InfoWarsLife.com with Anthroplex.